Good afternoon from the most eastern point of the Western world. Good to see you and to be with you today. And thanks to Suzanne for the opportunity to share this time with you. A lot has happened in the world in the most recent time since, like Suzanne said, since we got together to even chat about what today might look like. And certainly the words of "we all suffer together and we all rejoice together as the body" probably feels even that much more to us now. It certainly meant a lot back in March when suddenly we were all forced to stay in our own places. And then we had to learn who and what we are and what we would be as the body of Christ when everything seemed to be turned upside down. That the hands and feet and ears and eyes of Christ in which we were used to operating in no longer was the same. And we had to find new ways. But yet, we still are the body of Christ. I think it's brilliant that St. Paul used the human body as imagery for us to, and help us to understand what the church is and what the body of Christ is. As we reflect this afternoon, I want you to think for a moment, what part of the body of Christ are you? Because all of us have a part in it, and every part is needed, and every part is important, and every part is necessary for the continuation and the upbuilding of the body of Christ, for which we are a part of in the places where we are and the world in which we live. Some of us may be hands that get right into the work of doing whatever is necessary to be part of that body of Christ. If some of us have been the hands that helped at food banks in filling boxes and bags in the past, that may have changed for you. But yet, your hands as the body of Christ, I'm sure, have found new ways to do that. If you are the heirs of the body of Christ where you are, you continue to hear of the needs in your community. And need has not changed, even in the midst of pandemic. There is always need. The needs might look different. And we still are able to hear, but more importantly, to listen to the needs of those things around us. We continue to be the voice of Christ in this world, and even more so, a voice to speak to injustice, a voice to offer prayer. And perhaps we're offering prayers in different ways. We certainly are, as members and supporters of PWRDF. We are truly praying and using voice in a different way. And yet, that voice is still part of the body of Christ. Our hands, our feet, our ears, our eyes, all the parts that we associate with how we are the body of Christ continues to function, yet differently. And I did say to Suzanne at one point, I truly believe I was born in the wrong time, because I'm more of ink and quill girl than I truly am a technology girl. However, I have learned new skills, and those skills have enabled me to continue to be the body of Christ, to continue to share and rejoice, and yes, even to share in the sorrow of those who are around me because of technology. And we are still the body of Christ in the midst of it all. It came as a shock probably to me at the very beginning, and it all ran through my head at the same time. How will we continue to be who we are called to be when we can't do it the way we always did it? And then Christ, the head of the church, gave us new ways to be that body. My colleagues and friends here in the 3 Newfoundland dioceses write each month for Anglican Life, which is our church newspaper. And we've been writing a PWRDF column for going into 3 years now. And back in May, I wrote a piece, and it was entitled PWRDF, Physical Distancing is Not a New Thing for the Ministry of PWRDF. PWRDF has always been the body of Christ from a distance. We may not have always been able to put our hands on what we support. We've not been able to walk perhaps on the ground of areas that PWRDF supports. We may not have been able to always hear the words of partners with our own ears, but yet we are the body of Christ who continues to work in the world around us. And I think PWRDF for all of us is an example that we continue to be and do the ministry that Christ calls us to be and to do in the world, in whatever form that might take. PWRDF has always done it from a distance because of that wonderful work we do with partners. And partnership is truly the greatest attribute I think PWRDF has. That we are members of a body through technology. We are the body of Christ with those who are around the world. We are the body of Christ with those we live next door to. But we are the body of Christ wherever we are, in whatever form it may take. So I say this to you, but I also say it to me, do not be disheartened because we have to do things differently and the body might look and function differently at this time. We do it and we will find ways to do it because the body of Christ is always changing. I remember a little guy I had in Sunday school when I was a Sunday school teacher who got glasses for the very first time and came in the classroom really excited about his new glasses. And of course, not knowing what he might have thought about his glasses, I didn't say anything right away. And he said, "Do you see anything different about me?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "You have new glasses." He said, "Yes, and now I can see things I really couldn't see before." But he said, the most important part is, I think God is very clever. And I said, how is God clever? Well, look where he put my ears. He said, if my ears were in the right place, when I put my glasses on, they would fall off. So I think God was pretty good at making my body. I think God is really good at making us the body of his church. And we will continue to be that body in whatever form it takes. We will continue to be the hands and eyes and ears and mouth and feet to the world. We will continue to reach out. We will continue to do that for which God has called us. We will continue to weep with those who weep, and we will laugh with those who laugh, because this body shares in all things at all times. I'd like to end by sharing with you a prayer from Teresa of Villa. Christ has no body now on earth but ours, no hands but ours, no feet but ours. Yours are the eyes through which Christ's compassion is to look out to the world. Yours are the feet for which he is to go about doing good. Yours are the hands with which God is to bless people now. May we, as this body of Christ, continue to use each member of it, that we may proclaim to the world that Christ's church is alive and well, and each member of it important to the whole. Amen.